Hello again, everyone. Welcome back to the Main Event Podcast. We're here today discussing the end of the Best of the Super Juniors 31 tournament, New Japan Pro Wrestling's Dominion, and NXT Battleground. I'm Jez. That's Dan. Dan is looking particularly aborific today. It has to be said. You know, he's been working out and has been in the sun for half of his body a lot and not at all for the rest of him, which is an impressive feat, to be fair. Like, major kudos to you for managing to tan half your body, and wearing a crop top as well, I guess, because you know you got the t-shirt on the top and then just ends perfectly at the line.
Everything ends.
Yeah. And then over here I've got a bit of, you know, bit of half Despe face going on, but
Despe.
Yeah, I went above and beyond making this background that merged the Battleground and Dominion graphics, and we've got Trick Williams abs and a bit of a peaking Despe on the main feed.
And we got a peaking Roxanne Perez.
Oh yeah, she's sneaking through there. I didn't see her. And there's a fist as well. Whose fist is that? That's Lola Vice's fist.
Is it Lola Vice?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Lola Vice. I'll just get rid of you for a second, you know, no big deal, and just see who it is. There you go. It's Lola Vice.
Hold on, was Tony D'Angelo on that?
Yeah, he wasn't even on the event, was he?
Why?
Yeah, and if we get rid of me for a second.
Bump. There we go.
And that's all of the people involved in the two main events of Dominion.
Yeah.
Anyway, bit of a random start to the show, but you know that's how we roll here on the Main Event Podcast. We're a bit random, and I had to show off a little bit of the graphics work I did, because otherwise I'd be sad and very upset to not be gloating. I do like to gloat. Speaking of gloating, it's something I hope to be doing very, very soon with that championship belt over your shoulder. We have predicted both of the events that we are discussing today, as well as the semi-finals from the Best of the Super Juniors. We came into the show today with a score of Jez 67, that's me, Dan, not 67, 62, Jez 62, Dan 57. I managed to combine both of our scores then.
Combined.
Yeah. 62 to 57. And the Best of the Super Juniors semi-finals is quite easy to add on to that, because we both made the same predictions, and we got one right and one wrong. We went for TJP to advance, he did not, and we went for El Desperado to advance, and he did, which is good, really, because he would have struggled to win the whole thing if he didn't win the semi-final.
Yes.
That's how these tournament-based things work, I guess.
I guess so.
Yeah, so that means 63-58 going into the weekend's Dominion festivities. Shall we crack on with New Japan Dominion?
Yes, let's.
Okay, before we do, I will just say that today's Main Event Podcast is sponsored by Goat Energy Drinks, both rocking the Easy Goat that we gave its first tasting last weekend. I still can't
big thumbs up.
Hear Easy Goat without going, Easy Goat, Easy Goat. Nope. He is an easy goat, easy goat, easy goat. He is an easy goat. You know, I get a bit techno in a 90s kind of way. That song's probably older than you, isn't it?
When was it come out?
I don't even know what the actual name is to Google it. Anyone in the chat can help out with that. It's not called Easy Goat.
Go? Is it Easy Go?
Indigo? Here we go. Like, I've no idea what they're actually saying.
I have no idea.
No. But
it just comes up with a load of Grand Theft Auto stuff.
What, when you Google Easy Goat?
No, Easy Go.
Easy Go. Oh, right. Yeah.
I don't know.
I'll remember at some point. A brainwave will come to me, and then we'll find out if the Not Easy Goat song is older than you or not, because I think it is. Yeah. I really do. Yeah. It's just going to bug me that I don't know what it's called now. Yeah. Sponsored by Goat Energy Drinks. Easy Goat is one of their many flavours, and also in mango, cherry, and their original pomelo mango mixture. All very good. Goatdrinks.co.uk if you'd like to grab yourself a case. Enter the code JEZ10 at checkout. You'll get 10% off and free shipping. Yeah, make sure you put Jez 10 in, not Trick Willie's abs. That won't get you very much. Yeah, if you type Trick Willie's abs into the website, they might send the police around or something.
You won't get anywhere.
You won't get anywhere with that.
No.
Dominion. Kicking off with a rather strange choice for an opening match in my eyes. Tetsuya Naito versus Callum Newman. I'm not quite sure, A, where this match came from, and B, why Naito is in the opening match on the card, in the, the young boy kind of area. It's a bit weird.
It's a bit strange, isn't it? Considering he was world champion a couple of months ago, was it, or something?
Well, yeah, so he kicked off the show, and then at the end of the show, he is, announced as the next challenger for the world title. So it's I think it should have been third, fourth, something like that.
Yeah.
Like kick off with the 6-man tag, the TMDK and War Dogs and whoever the other guy was, LJ Cleary match. Kick off with that, and then put that on second. Second is more palatable to me for a Naito match.
Yeah,
it makes very little difference really, but
no,
still
got a Naito match.
Yeah, well, at least we got to see Tetsuya Naito. That's a fair point. And we'll get to see a lot of Tetsuya Naito in the next month as we lead towards Forbidden Door, where he will face Mox for the championship, and let's face it, will win back his championship.
Yeah. Bring it on.
Good. Yeah. But this was a decent enough match. I feel like it did good things for Callum Newman. Obviously he's very young, and I'm not going to say green. He's not green, but he's, still building experience, even though he has got a lot of talent and experience already. And to have a match with a main event caliber star like Naito and hold his own was pretty decent. Yeah, nothing to write home about, but decent enough match. And easy to predict is what I will say about that. Can't really go wrong with a Naito versus a jobber match, because you're going to pick Naito every time. And we will start New Japan Pro Wrestling Dominion as the ones.
We the ones.
Much the same way we started and finished the semi-finals of the Best of the Super Juniors. Just perpetually the ones for the semi-finals. Next up is that match that I said should have been the opening match. TMDK, Zack Sabre Jr. and the Ichiban Sweet Boys, that's their name apparently, Robbie Eagles and Kosei Fujita, versus Bullet Club War Dogs, Clark Connors and Drilla Maloney, with LJ Cleary from Pro Wrestling Noah by way of England.
Yes.
He's English. What did you think of this one?
Fine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the only thing that didn't really make a whole lot of sense to me is how dominant Zack Sabre Jr. was over the young kid from Noah. It didn't really seem like he put up much of a fight, and that doesn't do good things for Noah, really. Noah being the promotion. I'm not just saying, a random person's name like the dude with the arc or anything. Noah is the other Japanese wrestling promotion, for those not in the know. And on this match, we deviated in predictions. You went with TMDK, I went with War Dogs and Cleary.
Yep.
Cleary, that went badly, and you will pick up a point. And you will move to 2.
Yep.
And I will remain the ones.
Thank you.
Wimpressed, good evening. 3 down, drunk. I think once again you've mistaken what type of broadcast this is. There's not a crossword in sight. Well, at least not until we get to some of the later matches. And then I will definitely
let's get through these.
Throw out some crosswords. Do you guys cover smaller professional wrestling groups? We do on occasion, mostly on the website, written wise, is where we will cover the smaller stuff. I went to LDN Wrestling a few months ago and did a rather excellent write-up, if I do say so myself, about that show. Really good wrestling that they did. And I do want to get involved with the local indies here, to me, at least. We're in different areas, Dan and I, so
Yeah.
what's local for me is not local for him. But yeah, some of the smaller groups we do.
You do.
You poo-poo. The grids behind you threw me off. Yeah, this is just my generic hide all the crap in my house grids that I do for every stream.
You should see it behind it, man.
You shouldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have OCD.
If you want to, then go back and watch very early episodes of the Main Event podcast because I
see a lot.
Because I didn't even for the first few. It was in the other corner. It was just looking at a door, and that was really amateur and boring. That
professional.
Anyway, speaking of professional, let's move on. Yeah. Next match, KOPW title, Storm Catch Rules match. Great-O-Khan versus champion Yuya Uemura.
I didn't quite understand the rules for this.
Well, that's the deal with KOPW, isn't it? It's always weird stuff. One or t'other gets to make up the rules for the match, and this was Yuya Uemura's choice, and he was basically right. Let's have like Ring of Honor pure wrestling rules, except instead of having 3 rope breaks and then you can't rope break anymore, on your 3rd rope break, you're out and you lose the match. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. I don't mind that. And it did add an interesting dynamic to the match, but there is something to be said about simplicity and having some consistent rule sets for matches, and it can be very confusing, especially if you only tune in casually and you're not watching every show like I do. To be like, right, so what's the rules for this match again? And I've got to be honest, as much as I like Chris Charlton, he doesn't necessarily explain the KOPW rules very well. He just kind of goes, and it's this, obviously, and then we'll watch the match. Here you go. I'm like, it's written there in Japanese, and I'm getting better at reading Japanese, but I'm not there yet. Do you think you could maybe read this
explain off a bit better
in detail? That would be good. It was funny as well when they were doing the G1 Climax thing, and he was like, well, we don't normally talk over these things, but we're here to give you all the details, lots of details about G1 Climax. And then he talked like really fast for the first 30 seconds, and then for the next 2 minutes of the promo where they had loads of writing and information up, they didn't say anything. I'm like, right, great.
Cheers for that, guys.
I'll just guess what this says then.
Yeah,
that's fine. Thanks. Back to the KOPW though. Yes, the rules were complicated, but at least it wasn't lemon eating or tire stacking as we've had in the last couple of months. It was at least a wrestling match, and it was a good wrestling match as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, it was.
We'll talk about the last part of that in the way of predictions. We both predicted Yuya Uemura would retain. That did not happen. Great-O-Khan got his belt back. The hot potato that is the KOPW title. Yeah. Cool. Fine. Yeah. I'm not sure it was doing very much for Uemura. It's good for him to have a singles championship and pick up his first one. But he should be moving on to bigger and better things. I think this is kind of beneath Great-O-Khan as well, if we're really being honest about it. Yeah. I really see this as a kind of entry-level championship, like a real hardcore championship, or it's not as low as 24/7 championship, but it's that kind of lower mid-card hardcore European TV title type caliber. So let's just get some of the young guys involved in it. Get Bolton Oleg to just hold it for the rest of the year. Just like go in there, hit Great-O-Khan over the head with his meaty fist, and then just hold it for the rest of the year. Every time it's like, right, so what's the match type? He's like, we're going to have a normal wrestling match. Yeah. And I'm going to hit you over the head. I'm like, okay, Bolton, that's, I can't really argue with you. Sure, let's do that. Sure. Sounds like great rules. Yeah, normal wrestling match. I'm down. Let's do it. Yeah. Or, counterpoint, how about you have both your hands tied behind your back, and then the rest of it's a normal wrestling match? No, I think I'm going to hit you with these meaty hands, actually. Right, I thought you might. Yeah, okay, fine. Normal wrestling match. Okay, cool.
With these meaty hands.
Yeah, get these meat hands. That doesn't infringe on anyone's copyright, I'm sure. Yeah, so no point for us. I'll stay on 1, you'll stay on 2. And we move forwards. Next championship match, the Never Openweight 6-man Tag Team Championship match, which is a mouthful. Los Ingobernables de Japón, Yota Tsuji, Bushi, and Hiromu Takahashi versus the champions Hiroshi Tanahashi, Toru Yano, and the aforementioned Oleg Boltin. Boltin Oleg. I don't know which way his name actually is, because I thought he's not Japanese, so I thought they'd keep his name the same, but they call him Boltin Oleg. So I don't know which way around his name actually is.
Yeah.
Yeah, just call him Boltin. Meaty Hands Boltin.
Meat boy.
How did you feel about this match? Obviously new champions.
Again, fine. It was there.
Yeah, I'm glad that there was a title change, to be honest, because these belts have been a bit of a waste of space since Okada vacated, basically.
Yeah.
They took ages to crown new champions, and then when they did crown Tanahashi, Yano, and Boltin, I think they only defended them once before now, and that's not the point of them. They should be on, pretty much every major show, even if it's just a quick squash defense, just to build the numbers up. So I think it actually being on an actual team now, rather than the president, a joke, and a young boy, I think that's much better to have Tsuji, Bushi, and Takahashi holding them. Takahashi's been down on his luck. He hasn't won a singles match in God knows how long. I think he did win some in the Best of the Super Juniors, but not enough to advance with any kind of luster. So let's see how they do with the belts. Predictions, we both went for the retention, got that wrong. Still 1 to me, 2 to you. Wimprest added, my venue, I assume where he works or where he owns, have started having wrestling in it every couple of months. Definitely not local to you guys. No, definitely not local to us, but maybe one day.
Maybe.
The worlds will align and we can go and see some indie wrestling around the world. That'll be nice.
That'd be cool.
Especially if, you get us in for free. Just,
that'd be banging.
Press credentials and all that.
Yeah.
Next match, might I say, match of the night.
Yeah.
TV title, New Japan World Television title. Jeff Cobb versus Tomohiro Ishii.
Meat.
Yes. Big, meaty men slapping meat. This was cracking. I loved this match.
It's great.
I wasn't expecting much from it at all, and I don't know why. Obviously, Cobb and Ishii are both great, but this was giving me Ishii and Josh Alexander vibes from that match of the year that they had in TNA, and all they were really doing was giving lariats to each other and not going down, but it's just thud, oh no, screw you, thud, back and forth. I'm keep hitting each other, this is great. Smash, no one's going down, meat slapping, sweat flying everywhere, nobody's going down, and then all of a sudden Jeff Cobb just picks up Ishii like he's a piece of paper and throws him across the ring, and then Ishii just runs at him head first and torpedoes his head into his abdomen. It was cracking. I love this match. It was fantastic. All of a
sudden, Jeremy has become uncomfortable in his trouser department.
Didn't get excited about it in that kind of way.
Sound like you are.
But I very much enjoyed watching these guys smash the ever-loving Ishii out of each other. Yeah. And even while that was happening, Ishii made Jeff Cobb look like the most dominant force in all of wrestling. And, I would like to see Jeff Cobb hold this title for a very long time. Again, it is slightly beneath him, and he should be, higher on the card. But if he's just going to dominate and hold this title forever, then do that. Then absolutely do that.
Yeah.
A little predictable.
Mm.
You know, we both went for Jeff Cobb, so therefore we finally get a point each. I will go to 2, a thank you, and you will go to 3. Let me know, says Wimpressed, if you're in the Boston area. I'll certainly get you gents in. I'm part owner of a local brewery with a ton of space that we use for music acts and some wrestling, among other events. Yes, that sounds incredible.
Brewery.
And if I'm going to be in the States, the Boston area is certainly somewhere that I want to visit at some point. Not been to the Boston area, and I've got other friends in the Boston area as well. So
there you go.
Definitely make
Let's do a tour,
an event of it. Yeah, main event podcast on tour.
There you go.
Yeah, you've got a pretty good, big arena for big wrestling in Boston. Is it the TD Garden in Boston? Yeah, it must be the TD Garden, where they had Big Business in AEW a few weeks ago.
Business.
And I think it's where Survivor Series was. Not last year, the year before. So it looks like a nice arena. So maybe we'll go to a dub or a AEW event there at some point as well.
Yeah.
The TD Garden is definitely here. Good. There you go. I'm glad it hasn't run away. That's excellent.
Not got up and ran away.
Excellent reporting, Wimpress. Let me know if it moves, because I'd have to go somewhere else, obviously. So keep us abreast of the situation as to the TD Garden and its location. Next match. Bit of a cluster. A match for both the IWGP World Tag Team Championship and the New Japan Strong Openweight Tag Team Championship. TMDK versus the Guerrillas of Destiny, womp womp, Bullet Club, and Bishamon.
This was everywhere.
It was, but you know what? I enjoyed the fact that it was Tornado and that everyone was allowed to be involved, and they didn't have to make excuses why everyone was in the ring, like certain, trios matches in another company that starts with A and ends in W. And I liked that it was elimination as well, because you could only have all of these people in the ring for so long before it just became a mess. And they used it to advance a few different storylines and wrap up a few other storylines. Just decent effort, I feel,
Yeah.
Obviously, the big news to come out of this match is the apparent breakup and dissension of the final members of Guerrillas of Destiny, El Phantasmo and Hikuleo. Hikuleo took the pin. I don't think he's taken a pin for quite some time. Maybe not since G1 Climax last year. And ELP and Hikuleo got into it a little bit outside the ring, and then they had a real good spat in the backstage area. Where's Hikuleo going, Dan?
Well, possibly to WWE.
I think it's more than possible, to be honest with you. I think it's all but certain.
Well, considering WWE have filed a trademark for Talatonga.
That's going to get confusing with Tamatonga. When they're just rattling off names quickly, you're not going to know whether they said Talatonga or Tamatonga.
And then there's Tongaloa.
Yeah, but at least that sounds a bit different.
Yeah.
We've
got all the Tongas.
Yeah. Now they just need to bring Haku back to just stand in the corner looking menacing and, point at things that his boys get to smash into smithereens. Yeah. It's quite crazy to think that, we just wanted the GOD to come back and side with AJ Styles and make the Bullet Club again. But what we're getting is them not even really joining the bloodline. They're kind of taking it over and making it something completely different. Yeah. I don't think their thing will be called the bloodline once they finally reveal who is in charge of it, The Rock. And maybe it's not The Rock.
Roman Reigns is coming back in July.
Is he? Where'd you hear that?
Yeah. All over the internet.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I think The Rock will be back before Roman Reigns is back.
Jesus Christ.
I think they're quite enjoying having Roman Reigns off TV and him getting babyface chance. We want Roman. I think they're enjoying that at the moment.
Everyone's wanting Roman at the moment.
Yeah. And I'm really loving the work that, Hikuleo's bros are doing in the bloodline right now. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't read the article because it was nonsense, but I read the headline of an article. It was like, report, people inside WWE are surprised at Tama Tonga's in-ring acumen. I'm like, did you not watch New Japan Pro Wrestling at any point in the last 15 years? Like, how did you not know how good Tama Tonga was? Why did you sign him if you didn't know he was that good?
Yeah.
Idiots. So I think that was either not true or people are stupid. Either is possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, surprised that Tama Tonga's good. Shut up. Right, back to this tag team match. Let's get straight to the result and TMDK picking up the win.
Yeah.
It's about bloody time, let me say.
Yeah.
Finally, they were thrown a bone by New Japan Pro Wrestling. They have got the IWGP Tag Team Championships and the Strong Tag Team Championships. They had those before.
Throw that in there.
But finally, they've been given the proper IWGP Tag Team Championships.
Proper IWGP Championships.
Yeah, like, if they'd have lost this match, I'd have been like, right, guys, you've got to quit and get out of here because this is just stupid now. What's the point in you being there if they're never going to put the belts on you? And so finally... They're the champions. It seems like we're going to get them carrying the belts into Forbidden Door, and they'll probably take on one of the AEW tag teams. Probably,
that'd be cool.
They'll probably cop out and do it FTR because that's what they like to do with these kinds of things. But even that will be enjoyable. TMDK versus FTR. Yeah. So yay, TMDK. Yay. Double yay because that's who I predicted.
Yeah.
Yay. Who did you predict?
I predicted Grills of Destiny.
You did. You fool. Yeah. You fool. Surely you knew the future and that Hikuleo was leaving. Everybody knew. Everybody knew, except nobody. And anyway, that moves me to 3 and keeps you on 3. Next up, the start of what they dubbed on the fly a triple main event. Never open weight championship. Shingo Takagi versus Hanare.
Yeah.
This ended in a draw. How'd you feel about that?
I'm not too keen on draws.
I hate draws, ties, whatever you want to call them. They irk me. It's part of the reason that I hate soccer as much as I do, because any sport that can end in a tie on a consistent basis is not worth my time, frankly. That said, at least it means we're going to get this match again.
Yeah, that's very true, because it was a good match.
It was really good. Yeah. And the draw just kind of came out of nowhere, and it was a bit like, oh, right. I think I even went like, oh, okay, right.
Yeah.
Next, then, I guess.
Yeah.
It came out of nowhere, and largely, it's just great to see Hanare back in a ring and healthy again after he literally nearly died in February during the whatever they called that War Games match, whatever they named it. Who knows? Dog pound, dog something, war dog rules. There you go.
War dog rules, something like that.
Yeah. It was like, instead of war games, it was war dog rules. There you go. That. When Hanare's head was split open at the top of his skull, and he very bled a lot because turns out he split his artery on the top of his head and wrestled the whole match with a split artery.
Top man.
Yeah, apparently he told Will Ospreay that he thought he was going to die during the match, and he was kind of okay with it. Mate,
it's called dying for your craft.
Could you not die? But also, dude, badass.
Yeah,
absolute badass.
He is a badass man.
Yeah. I also, much like Ishii, just ramming his head into people earlier, I love when Hanare just dives head first into people, and he did it in this match. It was cracking.
Yeah.
I wonder which manner of death match it's going to be that we get the rematch, and when that will be. I hope we don't have to wait until after G1.
Yeah, it'd probably be after G1, won't it?
I don't know. We've got a few events between now and then. There's still a month to go until G1 starts. So, like, is it the road? What's it called? Road to? Can't even remember. They do like road to something or other in before it, Sapporo and things. I think. Can't even remember. Yeah. But I think there's a few decent events before G1 kicks off, and we won't have to wait until afterwards. Yeah, that would be excruciating. Predictions, we split on this, and it would have been interesting to see which way it went, but as a draw, we both won and lost. So, nothing doing. We both stay on 3 apiece.
Cheers.
IWGP World Heavyweight Championship, Jon Moxley with a bunch of dudes versus Evil with a bunch of dudes.
Dudes.
Yeah, lots of dudes. I like that they've gathered together all of these old-timers now and actually given them a proper stable. Like, the 3rd generation. I'm like, okay, doesn't make sense, but at least it's a group of people and they'll be doing something. I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
The main thing for me was the executive, the New Japan executive at the beginning. That dude just got spray painted in the face.
Yeah, man.
How do you spray paint someone in the face safely? Like, how is that accomplished?
With great skill.
Oh, and what is that spray paint made of? Is it like sugar spray paint or something? Or does that dude just get spray painted? I want to know.
He just wanted to be spray painted.
I don't think he wanted to. He didn't look very happy about it. And would you be very happy if someone just
called acting, man,
spray painted you in the face? Yeah. But Evil doing evil things, standard House of Torture match. But there was a few things to like in it. Anything in particular stand out to you?
Just a lot. I kind of like. I don't know whether it was a mocking Jon Moxley when they did the triple power bomb through the table. I was kind of like, I see what you did there. I don't know whether you did it intentionally, but I see what you did there.
I'm pretty sure they did do it intentionally. Yeah. Because the commentator says, and there's no shield to protect Jon Moxley today. And I'm like, you know what you were doing. Yeah, you knew the assignment, and you
executed well.
you lived up to it. Yeah, so I think that was deliberate, and it was a match that had many, again, not homages, but stolen moves, shall we say? That were kind of tributes. Evil kept doing all of the old timers moves like Nagata's leg lock and Tenzan's Anaconda Vice and that kind of thing. This was fine. It was always just a filler championship match, wasn't it? Of course, Mox retained. I don't think they're ever going to put the world title on Evil. I kind of want to see at one point Evil change his name to like Good and just go on a run of doing like charity and stuff. I think that would be fun, and then they can put the world title on him.
Then he'll win the world title and then go, "Ha! I was actually Evil the whole time."
Oh, mate, that would be incredible. That's what they need to do. That is the booking. It's he just one day says, I almost got run over on the street or some kind of life flashing before him thing. I'm like, I realized that I've kind of set myself up to fail here with my name, calling myself Evil, and I've done lots of evil things, and so I'm gonna change my name. My name is now Good, and I'm gonna devote my life to philanthropy and charity and like saving puppies and things, just to be super on the right side of history. And then obviously the House of Torture are like, what, mate? And then they beat the crap out of him and just systematically target him for months and months and months. He eventually wins around everybody in New Japan, gets his title shot, wins like the New Japan Cup or something, and then gets his title shot through that. And then he wins the IWGP World Heavyweight title, and then he rips off his nice pure white t-shirt to reveal a House of Torture t-shirt. And he's like, I was evil all along. That'd be incredible.
That'd be awesome, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Book it, Dano.
Book it, man.
Love that. That's long-term storytelling at its best.
Yeah.
Good.
Job
Coming
done.
to a New Japan ring near you. All capital letters. Good. That's his name.
Good.
Anything else about this championship match?
No.
No. Well, now that we've booked the future for you, New Japan Pro Wrestling, go forth and do.
And
Inevitable
give us some
result.
riches.
Oh, yeah. Just give us tickets and flights to Japan. That'll be fine.
Yeah.
John Moxley retains. We both predicted such. That takes us finally to 4.
4 horsemen.
And we move on to the main event.
Yeah.
The Best of the Super Juniors 31 final. El Desperado versus Taiji Ishimori.
Should this have been the main event?
I came into it thinking, yes. I liked the idea that this tournament was the main event. You know, they want this to be as big a deal as the G1 Climax tournament. It isn't, obviously. As much as there's nothing against the junior heavyweights, and the junior heavyweight title can be, you know, on par with the heavyweight title.
Yeah.
I don't think necessarily that the field of guys in this tournament was particularly spectacular. Also, I don't think that this was anywhere near being the best match on the card. So I think in hindsight, no, it shouldn't have been. But also, I don't think that the Mox Evil match necessarily deserved that main event spot either. So, I mean, what are you going to do without a viable main event? One of them's got to do it, and I suppose this is the best option. I think maybe the world heavyweight title match should have been the main event, just because of the Naito coming down and challenging Moxley afterwards. That would be a nice way to end the night. I just felt like the ending dragged on this one. Once he'd won the Best of the Super Juniors, it took ages for anything to happen.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, we'll go home now. That's enough.
Yeah.
Stop taking photos. We get it. You won. Cool. Fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was a decent match, but nothing spectacular, really.
Yeah.
Do you think the right person won?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? You didn't want to see Ishimori win it?
No, I think Despe deserved it.
I think Despe definitely deserved it after the last couple of years that he's had. And it means that he gets to go back after his junior heavyweight title.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Which will be great. Yeah,
apparently there's already been like some shenanigans involving that, because they agreed to fight in a cage match. I don't quite understand it, but I read something on Twitter, El Desperado's tweet. Obviously it was in Japanese, so it was fairly difficult to understand even with translate. It was like, it seems like Sho has already backed out of the cage match stipulation and has found a way out of it. I'm like, okay, I'll wait till the next show. I think it's Sunday's the next one, when they'll probably explain it. But like, and Sho's a dirty rat and he's shirking the responsibility once again. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that match, and obviously Desperado will win the title again. And I'm also looking forward to Master Wato coming back from injury, whenever that is.
Oh yeah.
I don't think he's been out long enough to be back yet. He tore his ACL, and I think that was in October or November.
Yeah, it's probably going to be a bit longer.
Yeah, so after G1 maybe.
Yeah.
Because that's a long process getting through G1 and all of that.
Yeah.
September rolls around, and that could be a good time for him to come back. And Best of the Super Juniors 30 champion versus the Best of the Super Juniors 31 champion for the belt. Do that at Wrestle Kingdom next year in January. That sounds good.
There you go.
Yeah. Just booking their show for them, Dan.
Just book it. They need to pay us.
Just booking everything for them. I've got loads of ideas, by the way. Just give us a call. I'll book your whole show for you. I'll give you long-term booking for the next 5 years. I don't care. Just, pay demand. And finally, we both predicted El Desperado would walk away with this one. So that's one final point apiece for us. We will finish New Japan Pro Wrestling Dominion. Just 5 points.
Just 5 points.
While we're on the Just 5...
already died.
Yeah, they've got rid of that now. While we're on the Just 5 guys topic, where the hell is Sanada? I want my Sanada. It's been ages.
Are you having withdrawal symptoms?
I am having Sanada withdrawal symptoms, and I need my Sanada. I think he's wrestling on Sunday, so He's
Okay.
definitely
Watch
doing
that. It'll sort you out.
the New Japan Soul tour. So he's there somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm like, where's my Sanada? Like, there's only so much Doki I can take without Sanada there to balance it out. Come on.
Okay,
Moving
on.
NXT Battleground.
Yeah.
There was no Sanada at NXT Battleground either, much to my disappointment. It kicked off with a 6-woman ladder match to determine the inaugural NXT Women's North American Champion. Mouthful. Kalani Jordan versus Sol Ruka versus Lash Legend versus Fallon Henley versus Jada Parker versus Mitchin. Skiving off school, she's Mitchin.
Mishin.
Did you enjoy this match?
It was fine.
Yeah. I don't know if we've got ladder match fatigue as wrestling
I get
fans.
why they did the ladder match for
I
this.
do as well.
Because, the original North American Championship, the men's one, was first competed in a ladder match. So I understand that. But as you said, we've seen quite a few ladder matches.
Yeah, we had another one fairly recently as well. Oh, it's the tag team one at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we're going to get Money in the Bank soon. I'm like, can we just chill on the ladder matches for a while?
Yeah.
Like, the odd one-on-one ladder match here and there, fine. But multi-person ladder matches, I'm just
keep that to Money in the Bank.
Yeah, I'm just so done with them being a thing.
Yeah.
Other than Money in the Bank right now. But yeah, as you say, I get it. It was because of the North American lineage and all that kind of stuff. And they name dropped Adam Cole on NXT, which is nice.
Yeah.
They don't care anymore. They'll name anyone, no matter who they're wrestling for. And I appreciate that. I don't think there's any need to use all this subterfuge and pretend that other companies don't exist. Like, it's much better to just say who's there and make funny jokes like they did on NXT this week when it was Sean Spears and Ethan Page and and Thingamabob, what's his name?
Nexus King
backstage with Cody Rhodes. Like, you seem to have landed in a good place. I'm like, yeah, that's a good joke. Well done.
Yeah,
good job, Cody. This match was fine. I think there wasn't really a bad answer in this about who would win. As I go through the list, I would have accepted any of these women winning.
I think the only one I wouldn't have accepted was probably Jada Parker.
Why is that?
Just because I don't think she's there yet.
Just she's too new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas the others have got a little bit more
tenure,
experience.
Tenure. A lot more in the case of Mitchin.
Yeah.
She's been skiving off the main roster for a while and been down on NXT. Yeah. Obviously, the eventual winner was Kalani Jordan. It's good to see her getting something again. I felt like she really kind of burned bright for a while, and then they had her lose in the final of that what was it called, the women's breakout tournament.
Yeah,
and then she just did nothing for ages. So it's good to see her I went with Sol Ruka, you went with Lash Legend. Both of those would have been decent choices. Nothing much more to say about it. We got it wrong. No points to start off Battleground. You two need a number rating. There's an overwhelmingly large amount of matches that are fine. Yeah, I mean, there are, to be honest. It is a slightly different to the early days of the Main Event podcast or the main roster as it was known then, because there weren't even matches that were fine back then. They were all just a bit either crap or they would fall into the match that happened category, which is something happened and nobody cared.
It was there.
Fine is actually high praise in comparison, really. But you're right. We should probably get the thesaurus out and try and mix it up a little bit instead of saying the same kind of thing over and over again. Let's give it a go now in our next match. Tag Team Championship, NXT Tag Team Championship. Nathan Fraser and Axiom versus the OC, Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. You know, I said that there would probably be crosswords at some point. I think now's the time.
Oh, go on then.
Why are Gallows and Anderson even in the WWE at this point? Like, what exactly is the point? Because they've lost twice to Axiom and Fraser now, and they're former champions on the main roster. They won the Raw and SmackDown Tag Team Championship. They've won championships around the world. They hadn't been on a premium live event since like 2022 or something, and this was the first one. And I was like, well, the OC are obviously winning this, aren't they? Because it will lead into the storyline with AJ Styles on SmackDown, getting the championship shot and his like fake retirement and all that kind of thing, and their little group that's back together, the OC and everything. So I'm like, so it's obvious, you know, the OC are going to win, and then they just went over clean. I'm like, what the hell is this? What the hell kind of Shawn Michaels nonsense is this? I'm so annoyed that the OC jobbed out again to Speedy Boy and Spanish Mask dude. Like, I just don't get this team, Fraser and Axiom. I get that they're good wrestlers. They really are. Probably shouldn't be on NXT anymore. They're so tenured, especially Axiom. Why are the OC even there if you're just going to job them out? What's the point? They've got no credibility now, and it's a waste. Okay, I'm done.
You're done? Okay. Needs a swig of a goat energy drink.
Hopefully this will chill. Look how chill this guy is. I need a bit of that.
You need to be more like that.
I'm just annoyed.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Yeah.
Your turn.
Yeah.
How was this match? You can't say fine.
All right then. It was satisfactory.
All right, Ofsted.
I've got a list here of words that mean fine.
Have you? Right. Okay.
Yep.
Requires improvement. Go on.
Yes. It sounds bad. It was just, as you said, Gallows and Anderson jobbing effectively. That's all it was.
Yeah, and that's the other point. Why even have the match if they're not going to win? It doesn't mean anything to Fraser and Axiom to just beat this team twice.
Yeah.
They've lost all credibility. Hate it.
Yeah.
So if it wasn't obvious, I went for the OC for the win. You didn't. You went for Fraser and Axiom because you suck. And there's a point for you. And then after an excruciatingly long wait, NXT Underground was ready.
Oh, God, yeah.
Shayna Baszler versus Lola Vice. We talked about Underground before. Obviously, we talked about Raw Underground when it was first a thing back in the pandemic. How are you feeling about this now that they've brought it out a few times on NXT?
Bored of it?
Yeah, I get what they were trying to do with it, and I think it worked for who was it? Damon Kemp and the Native American guy. Forgotten his name. No, it's not coming to me. Eddie Thorpe. Yeah, him. Damon Kemp and Eddie Thorpe. They had a pretty good underground match. But then the other examples are, who was it? Gable Steveson and whoever he faced. Was it Baron Corbin?
Something like that.
Was it so bad that it was Baron Corbin? Yeah, it was, because Baron Corbin retired him, just like he retired Kurt Angle. He retires all of the Olympians. That's his shtick.
Just keep him away from Chad Gable.
And I get why they used it for this, because it's two former MMA women, people.
Yeah.
But largely, I feel like there were better options than NXT Underground. You had the Fight Pit right there from a few years ago when it was Riddle and, again, someone, I can't remember who it was. Was it? In the Fight Pit?
I know, that was at Extreme Rules, wasn't it?
Yeah, maybe that was in the Fight Pit. But I mean the NXT one.
Oh, the NXT one?
It was Riddle against someone when he was in NXT. It could have been...
Bear with.
Yeah. The Only Lorcan? Was it Only Lorcan? I know that Kurt Angle was like the enforcer for it, but that was a thing. Or an even better option, if you really want...
Timothy Thatcher.
That's it. That's who I'm thinking. Yeah. God, remember that guy?
Yeah.
Yeah. The new Chris Benoit in the making. Yeah, so you had that as an option. That's kind of, the MMA cage fight kind of shtick, and it wouldn't have taken as long to set up as taking all the ropes down and all that kind of thing. But look into the history books, and again, Shawn Michaels should have known this because it's his time period. The Lion's Den. Why aren't you using the Lion's Den? Like, it's the thing that Ken Shamrock incepted, former MMA guy.
Yeah.
Those two in a Lion's Den would have been cracking because you could have even had it off to the side. They didn't sell any tickets for this event, so they had some spare space. Put the Lion's Den in the corner.
Yeah.
Get everyone to gather around it when the match is happening. Job done. The problem with NXT Underground mostly is it takes too long to set up and put away again.
Yeah.
And there's only so many times I can watch promos for WWE Network shows without getting bored.
Yeah.
It took away everything from the match for me. Did you have any thoughts about the match itself?
Just that Lola Vice didn't actually knock out Shayna Baszler.
No, that's true. There's definitely room to rematch this down the line, isn't there?
I don't know why they stopped it, because Shayna wasn't knocked out. She was still moving about.
No. It was kind of treated more like MMA rules in that she wasn't defending herself. She was knocked down and then she wasn't defending herself. She wasn't blocking the blows, covering up and all that kind of stuff. So I don't like MMA. So I didn't need to see MMA style rules. We'll get on to where this event took place and what we think of that at the end. But yeah. Here are some examples from WinPress that we could use instead of fine. Exceptionally okay. Extraordinarily tepid. Astoundingly all right.
Yeah.
Incredibly acceptable.
Yeah.
I don't think we've had any incredibly acceptable ones yet.
No.
That's slightly higher caliber.
Yeah, I'd say that's a bit more.
Wonderfully passable.
Yeah, I'd give that.
Yeah, that's probably where this was. Wonderfully passable.
Yeah, wonderfully passable.
Yeah. Right, predictions on that one. I went for Lola Vice. You went for Shayna Baszler. I get a point. We are both the ones for NXT.
We are both number one.
Battleground. Lovely. A triple threat, Dan. NXT North American Championship. Obafemi versus Wesley versus Joe Coffey. Why is every match that Obafemi's in a triple threat?
Because they're trying to make him really big and powerful, and it's like, oh look, he can beat up two guys at once.
But here's the thing: you're going to need a triple threat to get the belt off him at some point, because you don't actually want him to take the loss. So what, are we just going to have every one of these be a triple threat? Come on.
Yep.
Terrible booking. Awful booking. Who's in charge of this again? Oh, right, yeah. I've got nothing positive to say about this, even though there were some positive things in it, because it's another triple threat, and it's just, I'm bored. I'm bored of triple threats, especially involving Obafemi and him just throwing some other people around. He's great. Let him throw someone around one-on-one. Let him literally throw someone out of the ring and into the crowd and just say, yeah, that'll do. I'm going home now. Like,
yeah.
You've been counted out because I've thrown you so far away from the ring, you can't get back to the ring in 10 seconds. Like, that is what they need to be doing with Obafemi, not putting him in triple threats. Against people who should be winning, really, in Wesley and Joe Coffey. They should be holding this championship.
Yeah.
Get Obafemi on the main roster, squashing people there.
Yeah. He's going to be another Omos, isn't he?
No, because Obafemi can actually do stuff. Omos is rubbish. There you go.
Point taken.
I said it. Inevitably, we went for Obafemi. Point each. Thank you. There you go. I got through that as quickly as I possibly could, so I didn't get into another rant.
Yeah.
Into the meat of the show. NXT Women's Championship. Roxanne Perez versus TNA Knockouts champion Jordynne Grace.
Boom.
Yes. What did you think of this one?
It was a good match.
Really was. Yeah.
It's great.
I feel like this could have been put in the main event and it would have been absolutely fine.
I feel like this was the main reason most people watched this event, to see the TNA crossover.
Yeah. The only reason that I actually bothered watching NXT in the last couple of weeks is because of the threat of TNA wrestlers being on there. Like, as soon as I heard that Jordynne Grace was on there, I was like, right, all bets are off. I've reason to watch NXT now. Otherwise, I can just read about it. There's nothing exciting going on normally and just wait for the premium live events. But the fact that anybody can turn up now, very exciting.
Has proven the fact that Ash by Elegance turned up.
Yes. I do like their pretending to say things and then saying the actual thing shtick that they've been doing on NXT for the last few weeks. Like when Ethan Page turned up and said, I thought he was with A, and then Booker T interrupted him before he could say like EW. I'm like, yep, I know what you're doing. Everyone knows what you're doing. It's obvious, but it's also great. So keep that going. I'm like, oh my God, it's Dana, TNA wrestler Ash by Elegance. Like, you knew what you were doing there too.
Ash by Elegance is a stupid name anyway.
It is a stupid name anyway, yeah. I don't know what's going on with her in TNA at the moment. I assume she's feuding with Jordynne Grace, but
I presume so.
That can all be pushed to the wayside, frankly, because we need to have somebody from NXT in that open challenge against All Odds this Friday.
Yeah.
Screw Ash by Elegance. She can get pushed off and try really hard like she does somewhere else on the roster.
Try really hard. She does try really hard.
She tries so hard, Dan.
She tries so hard.
Did you know that?
She tries
so hard.
Tries really hard.
The ending. I mean, this is part of it, really. The Dana Brooke, Tatum Paxley stuff. I think cowards.
Yeah.
You cowards. I wanted and feel like it would have been much better to put the belt on Jordynne Grace. And I think to not do so is cowardice. Cowards. Because now everything is obvious and inevitable. Jordynne Grace is going to defend against someone against All Odds from the NXT roster, and she's going to retain. Whereas if she'd have won the belt, you could have had Roxanne Perez come out against All Odds and win the TNA Knockouts title. And then those two belts, all bets are off about what happens with them. Jordynne Grace could lose the NXT title to anybody in TNA or NXT. Roxanne Perez could lose the TNA Knockouts title to anyone in TNA or NXT, and then it just gets more exciting about who is going to be holding these belts when they finally decide that they're done with this crossover. But now it's like, oh no, nobody from TNA is going to win any NXT belts, and nobody from NXT is going to win any TNA belts, NXT belts. I'm confusing myself. You know what I mean? Nobody's going to win a belt from the other promotion. It's just going to be a little bit of fun that we do, and then it'll go away. Cowards, do it. Like, if you're going to do it big. Actually swap some belts around. Like, I want to see NXT championships being carried by TNA wrestlers on TNA Impact and vice versa.
I just thought of something.
Please elaborate.
If they're doing, and this is not related to this match.
Okay.
If they're doing TNA NXT crossover, Wesley and the Rascals.
This has been debated, actually. Obviously, at the moment, Wesley is... who is it that they had a 6-man tag with? Is it Gallus? Yeah. Wesley is fighting with Gallus at the moment.
Yeah.
He called down his buddies from the main roster in New Catch Republic, and that didn't get it done.
No.
Yeah. The big rumor is that we are working towards a proper Rascals reunion to take on Gallus.
That would be...
Yeah.
That would be cool.
With which would actually outnumber Gallus because there's 3 members of the Rascals in TNA at the moment, isn't there? The 2 OG ones.
Yeah.
And what's the other one called? Myron something? Who knows?
I don't know.
The other guy.
Just get the 2 OGs.
Yeah.
The ones that Wesley actually knows.
I mean, if we're just putting together a Scottish stable, I mean, is there any other Scottish wrestlers that could potentially...
Oh, I don't know. Maybe there is.
Someone that perhaps you could say their name and they appear? Like, anybody spring to mind when...
Like, what is it? Is it John? Is it John? John Hardy?
John Hardy, that's it.
John Hardy.
Sounds right.
I believe in John Hardy. No, it doesn't quite sound right.
Yeah, say his name and he appears. I believe in John Hardy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just saying, if Gallus needs some Scottish backup, John Hardy's there.
Yeah.
Many possibilities from this TNA NXT crossover. I'm a little less excited now than I was because they're cowards and they didn't put the TNA NXT Women's Championship on Jordan Grace.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You burned me.
Yeah.
And I went for Jordan Grace for the win. You went for Roxanne Perez for the win. I'll stay on 2. You will move to 3. And the main event. NXT Championship. Trick Williams against the very new to NXT, Ethan Page. All ego. Page. Not just a little bit of ego. All ego. Another missed opportunity here, really, when you talk about a crossover. Why didn't we have a bit of Josh Alexander coming down and even just coming out and standing on the ramp as the distraction that prevents Ethan Page from winning?
Yeah.
Like, if we don't get Ethan Page versus Josh Alexander in this crossover, now that that's a possible thing, then that's another waste.
Yeah.
So many possibilities. Stop being cowards. Do all the things.
The possibilities are endless.
Do all of the things. Not just some of the things. I want to see all of the things.
All the things.
All of the things. Anyway, main event. How did you feel about this match?
It was okay. It was tepid.
There's a lot still to learn from Trick Williams' point of view.
Yeah.
He's still very young in his wrestling journey. He may have been thrust into championship position a little too quickly, frankly. But Ethan Page made him look like $1 million, and that's basically what they brought Ethan Page in to do, is to bring up a lot of the younger talent, and then eventually he'll get his shot on the main roster as well. Like, I think Ethan Page is a great signing for NXT.
Oh yeah,
it's like a classic, black and gold era indie star joining and doing his thing. Do you think it was a bit much that he just arrived and went straight into the main event?
I mean, it kind of does fit his character with the all ego sort of thing, but at the same time, no.
You're right. It does. It is fitting, and it makes sense that you come in and go, of course I'm the main event. I'm all ego. Like, it makes sense. Of course I'm going to the main event. But it is a spit in the face to everybody else, and I feel like there were other opponents that probably should have faced Trick Williams in this in this event. Just run it back with Tony D'Angelo, for example. There are loads of people whom Trick Williams could defeat and start notching up those wins. That isn't just immediately blowing your load with Ethan Page, for lack of a better term. Like, because where does he go from this? He let his ego get the best of him, and that's what cost him. But he still lost to a guy much his junior, and now his credibility to beat anybody on that roster is severely diminished. So where does he go now? And the answer is probably against or helping Sean Spears to torment someone. I guess. So all in all, I feel like this match kind of capped off a night of, this could have been a lot better if you'd have actually put a little bit more effort into planning it further in advance.
Yeah.
Considering they announced this event just after WrestleMania, so they've had 2.5, 3 months to build to it. It didn't seem like they really had a plan. It was all thrown together, with the exception of the North American Women's Championship match.
Yeah.
It was all thrown together pretty haphazardly and quickly.
Yeah.
So, and I don't think I rate this event very much at all.
No.
Let's quickly do the prediction on that. We both went for Trick Williams, so I will finish on 3. You will finish on 4.
4 horsemen.
And so you take those scores into consideration. The 1 apiece from the semi-finals of the Best of the Super Juniors, 5 apiece from Dominion, and 3 points to me, 4 points to you for Battleground. Scores on the doors are now 71 to me, 67 to you.
Only 4 away.
Yeah, you closed the gap by 1.
Mm-hmm.
Just going to mute to cough for a second.
Every little helps.
And pardon me. Right. Final thing to discuss before we get on out of here. The venue. The UFC Apex played host to NXT Battleground, which is the UFC's performance center, basically. It's the WWE Performance Center for UFC.
Yeah.
They didn't sell it out.
No.
It was only a 950 people capacity, and they didn't sell it out. I don't think the space particularly lent itself to wrestling.
No.
There's no reason really that this event couldn't have just been at the Performance Center in their normal environment. Yeah. Do you think there is any benefit whatsoever? Is there any gleaming feature from the Apex that you're like, oh, it was worth doing it there just for this?
No.
No, I get that they want to cross over. They're the same company now, WWE, UFC, same parent company, fine. I get that they wanted to do a crossover, but it really didn't work. And people voted with their feet. They weren't interested. Not interested in the slightest.
Yeah.
It wasn't even a good venue. It was awkward. No. The camera side that you were looking at, it had that giant gap in the middle.
Yeah.
It was that was the configuration you chose. It was basically an empty place, and you put the bleachers where you wanted, and that was what you chose. I like the entranceway. That was all right. I like the coming out through the split screen thing.
Yeah.
That was kind of cool, but I don't think they'll ever go back there again.
No.
And it's a stupid idea from start to finish. Are they going to put a UFC event in the WWE Performance Center? No.
Probably not.
What's the point? There's no point in having it in a sphere where you already have something for that purpose. So why did WWE feel the need to go, oh, we'll do it in the UFC Apex? It's like the Performance Center, but it's smaller and not built for the purpose that we are going there for.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Another silly, ill-conceived idea.
Yeah.
At least they're all pretty much confined to NXT at the moment. On the whole, the rest of WWE is sailing, and it can hardly step a foot wrong. But NXT has got its fair share of what the hell is going on.
Yeah.
Massive what the hell is going on. And I would like to see some what the hell is going on, but in a good way. At TNA Against All Odds this Friday.
Yeah.
It's the first event that's going to take place in TNA since the announcement of not even the announcement, since people started to cross over between NXT and TNA.
Yeah.
TNA's had a bunch of stuff taped up till now, so it all predated that.
Yeah.
Live on Friday, open challenge for the women's knockouts title. Could be literally anything else going on there as well. Excited to see that. And then we've got Clash at the Castle on Saturday as well.
In Scotland.
In Scotland. Another event that they've struggled to sell, which is hilarious because I couldn't get any tickets when I wanted to buy them. And then as soon as they were like, oh, yeah, you're right, they were a bit expensive, we'll lower the price a bit. I'm like, no, mate, too late. Screw you.
Too late, mate.
Enjoy wrestling in an empty arena. It's going to be cracking.
Yeah.
They're desperate to sell tickets, and I don't think it's going to happen.
If you give it to us for free.
Even then,
maybe.
I've got plans now.
Yeah.
I think the weekend's booked out. I can't go all the way up to Scotland now. Too late.
Yeah.
Ruined it. Totally ruined it.
Yeah.
But hopefully it'll be a good event on television. We'll be back here next week to discuss both of those events and everything else going on in the wrestling world. Thanks to everyone that has joined us this evening. If you just turned up and you're like, oh man, I missed it, don't worry. The archive's there on YouTube and in all major podcast platforms. Go back to the beginning and listen to it from the start. Hell, if you were here the whole time, go back and do it again. Why not?
Yeah.
What else have you got to do? Gonna watch Clash of the Castle? No, it's not till Saturday. Watch this again on loop until Saturday. Perfect.
There you go.
That's your Friday sorted.
Heroes ranting.
Until next time, I've been Jez.
I've been Dan.
This has been the Main Event Podcast. Goodbye.
Bye.